but, you know, I lost my mother just boom like that. I said I'd rather do that with my dad again, too. Just boom, gone. Just running him back and forth to a nursing home. It's terrible.
Knock on wood with Dorothy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh, excuse me. We're going to start the meeting. I'm going to call the order for the Heritage Preservation Commission for Monday, April 18th, 2022. I look for approval of the minutes. Has everybody had a chance to read them?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All approved? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, here we go. I think I'm in the sink. We have a design review for the Bezdichek building at 202 North Minnesota Street. Is there somebody here to
Yes.
present? Okay. You want to come up to the mic, please?
In your packet, it is for Ann Bezdichek, 202 North Minnesota. Gag Sheet Metal's presenting the information. It is to look to install metal panels on the back of the building. And generally don't look at the back of the buildings too much, but this one is kind of prominent out there, so we're bringing it forward here to see what information we've got, and we can go from there. They're looking at doing, in your package, shows the picture there, covering the backside from the roof down to the ground with metal panels. Also in your packet is the design of the metal panel and then a color sheet, and they're looking at a recommendation of what colors that would be acceptable for that, for the owner to choose a color out of that color palette.
That was the only question I had for the GOG representative. What color did they choose?
Well, and they know it's, I talked to Mr. Gog this morning. I told him it's the earth tones. I told him probably anything from that almond down to the extra dark bronze would be able to be in that scope. If that's what you're looking at, or I don't think the owner had any specific color in mind.
No.
Okay.
Is it, we went and looked at it earlier, was it last year?
No, it was.
Was it this
It
spring? Yeah.
was cold, remember?
It was cold.
Right, it was cold. And I'm thinking what's the point is to make it follow through with the Grand and some of the other buildings back there that have some coloring of some sort. I mean, we don't want
Coloring
to,
of that, right, and it's, my understanding is to try to get it somewhat watertight, as opposed to going through and disassembling and trying to retuck and replace brick and everything.
So are they covering the doorway as well?
No, we'll trim around the doorway.
You'll trim
And
it
the
off,
window.
and so
Yep.
all the windows will be covered?
The ones that are shown are boarded up, yeah.
Okay, except the one that has the air conditioner in there, and that one will stay, but
Yep.
you're gonna trim around that?
Yep.
You know, I too had went through the alley and just looked at it. The Grand, is that, why am I thinking, is that close to like terracotta?
Yes,
Right.
I would
say.
agree.
I did bring along another actual color chart
Color
too
chart?
that shows it a little bit better than with the printout.
Oh.
any opinions? Do you have a color chart? Do you want to see the color chart?
I have a copy. Do you?
I'm good with it.
You
Okay,
good with it?
we're good. I have a
Right.
copy.
Does anybody want to make a motion?
I'm okay with, like I said, the earth tone colors, but I mean, if the owner doesn't have a preference at all, similar to the Grand going through that alley. I
Well,
mean,
I just think it would kind of follow through some
Yeah.
kind of a theme instead of sticking green back there or something like that. And is the roof line going to prevent water from getting back there anymore?
Well, I think they would work on flashing that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it looks like there isn't a big overhang.
Right, yeah.
probably
there
started
isn't,
the
so-
problem to begin with.
Right.
Okay.
So, yeah, I would assume they flash that in and make sure that the water's running the right way.
I'll make a motion to install a Uniclad, the color being terracotta at, I've got to scroll down here. At 202 North Minnesota, rear of the building.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew.
Yep.
The next design review is for Eric Bode, for the rear of 21 North Minnesota and 513 First North. He's looking at tearing down those buildings. And I will let him come up and talk about what he's planning for the future on that.
Hi, Eric Bode, 304 South German Street in New Ulm. So the plan is to take down the, I think you see in your packet, I highlighted out, there's a little red roof building attached to kind of an older two-story metal-clad building. I kind of want to remove both those off the property, build a new two-story building that's there. The main level, it'll be indoor parking garage. Second level, I don't really have plans for it yet, but there'll be one door that faces First North that you pull into. Can park cars inside of there, and then they come back out. It's
I'm correct, that's the back of the Retzloff building?
correct. Yep, back to the Red Soft
So
building.
they're not
correct.
using that anymore?
Nope. So I purchased the whole property,
Oh.
the front and that side part. So the front two retail spaces we're remodeling right now and have them leased out. Then there'll be two more apartments upstairs, and the back part I want to take down, turn the parking garage piece there so I can utilize it for different projects downtown. Trying to get about 16 stalls in there. We'll make it look like a brick building, not a parking garage.
So for right now, you're just wanting to tear it down. Are we going to see any of the future drawings?
Sure. Yep. I don't have the renderings yet. The gentleman came last week here. We drew it all out and laid it out, but I don't have any drawings for you right now, so I
Okay.
apologize. But the goal would be to demo it, to pull it off out there to get it cleared, and then either build it again this year or next spring.
Just a couple of comments. I walked around it. I mean, you go through our 9.19 of our Commercial Center Historic District document. I didn't see any historical factors that we're saving by not letting them raise the two buildings. Architectural factors, I don't see any in the block building. That's a very new building. The plywood, whatever kind of siding you want to call it. And the planning and economic, I mean, you did tell us about that. The one thing, though, I'd like to see is when you do demo the building, I know you don't know yet, somehow, if it's a year or two before you do the project, the back of the building, not that it looks like some of our other buildings downtown, have you got a plan for that, or?
So the original site there has two buildings up on Minnesota Street, and then there was a gap between there, and then the old building, or the building that I'm talking about.
Right.
So in the middle there, they put a concrete roof over that whole thing. I believe we're gonna try to keep that, and so
Okay.
we'll end up, if it's not gonna be for a while, I'll close it in of some sort. Right now, it's a block wall with like a garage door size opening in it that would be exposed.
Okay,
So we'll put some kind of a door in there until it gets rebuilt again.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
So
not
that-
gonna tear it, I don't think we're gonna tear it out to the exact back of the old buildings. It might just be up to that block wall.
Oh, so where you leave the
Yeah, so
old
we've,
structure going down that ramp.
correct, yep,
Okay.
because I think we can get the elevation from First North down to that level so we can utilize what's there already without tearing the concrete. There's a big
Okay, so-
concrete building in the middle.
bottom of the ramp, that's where you'd stop, that's the block wall?
Correct, yep,
Okay.
that's, yes,
I
correct. Yep,
haven't
when you
been
walk
in
in
there
the
in a
back of
long
Red
time.
Sloughs where that ramp went down, that's the block wall that we would stop at and keep that,
Okay.
Okay,
correct.
got it. When you went into that other building, you.
Right, yeah. I did not know that there was nothing going on in there. I guess I got to pay attention a little bit more, don't I? Anyway, any more comments? Or questions? Otherwise, I'll look for a motion to approve.
We'll make a motion to demo the building behind Retzloff's at, I'm not sure the address. At 513 First North and 21 North Minnesota Street, the rear portion.
Yeah.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing the new design.
Yeah, I'll get that to the city as soon as I can.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next design review is for Sweet Haven Tonics. Leah Treleven is presenting. The owner is Ann Vogel, 110 North Minnesota. And in your packet, she's looking at adding some windows, awnings, add a sign, and some paint and lights. So she's got some type of kind of drawing in the packet here of where she's looking at doing the sign on the front of the store. And then the other pictures and stuff are some examples of what she's looking at for awning types and for the colors and lighting and the signage.
I guess the only question I have is when I drove by, I noticed what's going to happen to the old Herberger sign that's up there right now? Is that going to be taken care of or moved down or what?
Right, Leah Treleven, 1400 South
I'm
Main
sorry.
Street. This is my third one this year, so I'm just getting really good at it.
Thank you.
The old Herberger sign, we haven't communicated with I think that other side was just sold, I think.
Yep.
And so I don't think either of us have emotional attachment to it, and that'll come off the building.
Okay.
I do have a couple of questions. Okay,
Sure.
the awning, so you're looking at a metal awning?
I put a few different options in there. Elwood said maybe I should give you a few things to look at. So the preferable one would be a shorter, narrow black awning that's made of steel.
Are you referring to the one that it's more slanted down?
Yes, because I also in the packet there is a cloth version of that. We would preferably like to use something that's a little bit more weather resistant. A lot of those cloth awnings really don't have much of a life to them.
They get beat up.
Right.
The
Yeah,
cloth
they
one is
just-
farther down.
But the very first one with the white building behind it on the same page as the wooden sign.
Yeah, that's what she would like, yeah. Okay.
Elwood, can we reach the 8 feet above those windows? For height?
I don't know that for sure.
That's one item that the building official will be checking, in our ordinance, it's for every building downtown is that 8 foot high. I believe they can be, if it's a retractable, is it 7?
7 retractable.
Right, but if this is gonna be a solid one, somehow you gotta maintain that 8 feet above the sidewalk. Just a note.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm sure it would be because the doors are 7 feet and then there's the transom above that.
Yeah.
There's awnings
those
above the
other
2 windows too
two
yet.
windows
Yeah, the
are-
2
Those
windows,
might
there's 2
be in
awnings.
question.
Not that way.
So the one above the door would be fine, obviously.
Looks that way, yeah.
But the
But the
other
other
two,
two-
we just need to make sure that those are
Make
high
sure they're
enough.
8 feet.
And that's the bottom of the awning.
Bottom of the awning.
Needs to be, okay.
We've never counted the kickers out, have we, the braces? Counted those or not? No. All
No,
right.
it's, yeah.
So then all the awnings would look alike, I'm
Right.
assuming.
Yep.
Okay.
Just the width of them would vary depending on if it's over the main door or over the 2 windows.
Gotcha.
And then it looks like you're going to be opening up 2 windows?
Right. There is kind of an awkwardly placed steel beam in the front of the building. And so we're going to make sure that they're evenly separated. So there'll be about a 3-foot gap in between the 2 windows. But yeah, just to bring some light into the front of it will be really nice. Let people see what's going on.
What type of lighting are you planning on using?
We are looking at, so there's a picture of 2 black garage doors with on the same sheet as the color palette.
Okay.
We'd like to
Oh,
use
okay.
some nice copper. We think that the dark colors with the black and the copper look nice together.
And those would be put where?
So we would have one of those over each of the existing windows. So there's those long skinny windows in the front that are already there.
Right here.
We would
Okay.
put those lights over each of those windows. And then the big Sweet Haven sign that's going to go above the 2 newly constructed windows, we would have, I'm
Nice.
thinking 3 of those to highlight that new sign.
Do we have any specs on the signage, or are we going to do that later? For
I
signage?
noticed you-
believe it's 16 by 5 is the whole size of that framed in piece. Is what Tanya from Pullman.
And the color of the letters?
The color of the letters will be black, so it'll be, haven't decided based on pricing if we'll do a painted metal or more of a synthetic letter, similar to what the Herberger sign is right now. Something that a Sid sign could do.
So the backdrop of the sign, though, is still going to be black, and the letters are going
The backdrop of that sign will be the barn board, so there's an example.
Okay, the barn boards, never mind. I
So
got it.
it'll be black barn board on the back, and then the black letters to stand out from that.
Got it.
And then a black frame around the whole thing.
Okay, so run that by me again. You're gonna have barnwood?
So if you
As-
look in your packet, the page that has the black awning on it,
Right.
below it, there's a picture of kind of a big barn board sign that has a storefront name on it.
But I
We
thought
would-
you said black barn boards.
I might have misspoke. So it's black lettering.
Gotcha,
Sweet Haven will be black lettering and then natural colored barn board.
gotcha.
Do you know the height of your
Your letters and
letters? Thank you.
I believe based on what, when Tanya said the whole sign is 16 by 5 feet, I believe they'll be I want to say 3 feet, but that seems large now that I'm saying it. But
that,
if
the letters will be,
you,
the
just
S and the
let me
H
grab my
probably.
phone. I know I have that message from her so I can speak accurately to it.
and we're
Done
good,
signage
Elwood,
for
with the
a while.
90 square feet? Did you say 3 by,
5. That's 15 square feet.
no,
16 feet across
16 feet across?
and 5 feet high.
Okay.
I know I had asked Tanya what the size of those letters was.
Yeah, that should be a 25-foot storefront. Would have 50 square feet.
Because most of that in the new sign ordinance, that part downtown remained the same.
Stay the same.
Okay.
Is there a ratio of that area that we're in? Looking at the picture that I provided you with, is that the balance that you're looking for? Is it too big? Is it too small?
That's what we're trying to decide here,
Okay.
because it's been a while for me that and I looked at his signage here.
So everything, the rectangle is 16 feet by 5 feet. But everything is drawn to scale in the rendering that you have.
Okay.
It says that each sign shall contain no more than 2 lettering styles, and lettering shall not occupy more than 60% of the total sign
Okay.
area.
So it should be good.
I was just curious, normally, I mean, are you, or whoever your vendor is, normally they give us a little, okay, my L is 18 inches high, you know, my N is 18 inches high, that's what I was
Okay.
looking for.
Okay, sorry, I don't have that. I don't have that example for you.
Do,
But I
you want
can-
to step back and let us know, because that would be, we don't want to misguide anybody on what
Right,
size
and
of
then
the
having the
signage can be.
letters done and then,
Correct.
yep, absolutely. So you'd like to know the size of each of a capital letter, a
Yeah, and then
lowercase
the
letter?
lowercase.
Right.
Okay.
Any more questions?
And then paint, I thought you said you're just gonna do touch-up?
So you'll see the layout there of the various colors. We would like to do the base of the building, I think might be like a pinkish color right now. Right.
Pink?
No, we're not touching that up. We're covering that up.
Oh,
If
okay.
allowed. No, I'm more of a neutral gal. So, I'm looking to do, black along the bottom and then a darker gray on the next section. That building is kind of split into the base and then the next section and then that area where the signage will be. So we want to just do a nice gradient in those three sections. So black on the bottom, a darker gray in the middle section, which I think will be a nice complement to the black awnings and the copper lights. I have the picture in your packet of the black garage doors with the dark gray and the copper lights to give you an idea of what those three colors look like together. And then above it, where the signage would be with the Sweet Haven, would be yet one step lighter than that.
What's the color above the gray?
The color above the gray, I don't have that. Can I take a look at yours, Elwood, so I can speak to that?
Which one?
Just curiosity.
Just the one with the color palette on it. So in the bottom corner, we have the black as the bottom. And then we would do the dark gray kind of going up this far column.
Oh, okay.
So we have the
Gotcha.
dark gray and then the
Okay.
next one, and then the top would have the lightest color in it. Perhaps, is it
Yeah, it looks taupe or something like
taupe? The color in the middle of that 9, we were kind of between the top right-hand corner for the very top and the very middle color, the one in the center of it as our gradient.
That's a better.
You like the middle one better?
Yeah,
I do too.
I think it's all of a sudden it jumped to something too light.
Yeah, I think so, as I said that.
Yep.
So the bottom right would be, that's the bottom color.
Okay.
And then the dark right above it is the middle, and then the top is off to the left in the very center.
All right, any more questions?
Awnings, what's your decision on that?
I don't believe we have anything prohibiting it, do we? A metal one.
Well, to me, it looks more like an eyebrow versus an awning. You know what I'm saying? Because awning is, this one doesn't look like it's going to come out that far as a
Right.
regular awning. So, I like the look.
I do too.
Awnings, it just says canvas awnings were familiar feature in the 19th century storefronts. Apart from their primary function of sun and glare, sheltered the pedestrians, be attractive addition to the storefront. Select awnings that closely follow historical precedents in shape and design. Awning size and mounting height should be based on original storefront design if possible, and be operable unless evidence of a building's original awning suggests otherwise. Always fit awning with the storefront opening. This is choose a water repellent canvas material. Aluminum awnings or canopies are generally inappropriate. A wide variety of canvas colors are available.
Well, do you remember in the old days, they used to have awnings that came out flat, straight out?
Yeah, but they were almost 5 feet across,
I know.
weren't they?
So,
It's one little glitch where they had the anchors coming out of the building
Right.
and actually holding a
Right.
flat awning out, and they took them out I think a few of them came
A
down.
few of them came down in the early 70s.
That's one item that's kind of missing out of our commercial center historic district that I don't know what we do if somebody actually wanted to duplicate what was on there in 1940 and we'd say no.
Because
That I would, yeah,
Oh,
for
I-
sure.
But I mean,
Yes, it
that's
was-
how it was.
I
Because
know,
had- Yeah.
but that's before we had a historical preservation commission.
But in the one sentence,
I
it
know.
says the
No,
era,
yes,
and yet we don't allow these.
yeah, right.
But those were in that era. Trick
But they
question.
look a lot different. This one has the look of an awning.
Slanted, all the snow can go down.
Right.
And I don't know if it's gonna project out 3 feet, 2 feet?
No, I'm thinking 2 feet. It'll be a narrower, like, did you call it an eyebrow?
Yes.
Yes, so it's more for the look to
Right.
give it a more attractive look on.
Appearance of a,
So it's not a true awning?
If it's fixed, it can only be, am I correct, 3 feet?
like a sign.
I believe so.
Right,
Yes, retractable, you can go out
Yes.
to the
farther,
curb line, I think.
right.
I don't have any issue with the metal awning.
I like the way it looks.
Mhm.
Okay,
So,
you're looking. All right, well, I think what we're looking for here is we are gonna go with a black type eyebrow awning above the doors and above the 2 windows. We are going with the copper lighting, there again above the side lights and above the signage, so to have a total of 5.
Would black be an option too for lighting, depending on availability and cost?
Correct. I would go with that as well.
I like
with
the
black.
design of the lights. I mean, that's more practical. I mean, more the look that we're looking kind of
Yes,
for.
yep, that's what, the look will stay the same, but sometimes availability, and I have no idea how much a copper light of that magnitude costs, so it's good to have the option if
You're right.
possible.
Okay,
We also have 2 openings of windows as well.
Correct.
And I'm going that you're gonna go with the dark bronze.
Yeah, that, we don't have anything on the windows. I don't know if you have anything.
I have not gotten that. When I spoke with John Nosbush about them, we want to duplicate the same color of the metal framing that's already on the windows of the building.
that would make sense.
And I'm assuming you're going with the insulated glass, 1 inch.
We had talked about the possibility of creating some open air within the building by doing a single or double hung window that could open to provide that.
Okay.
Is there any issue with having the insulated window, but having it be one that could be opened?
That's a good question.
Don't know what the
I
building.
don't believe in our criteria it says anything about fixed unit. Oh,
If you go on, there's a picture of the old Warblers building right after the,
Yep, I see it. And they were fixed windows.
yeah, there were storefront windows.
So were you kind of thinking of capturing kind of like some of the breweries that have their garage doors that open up to the street?
That was our initial idea, was to have a big garage door in the front. But with you folks in mind, I thought, I don't think that's going to get
think
very
we'll-
far.
I would have voted for that. I'm gonna speak for myself.
Right. And so I really
Wouldn't have.
wanted to work with the idea of bringing the old world charm back to this area, and I knew that would disrupt it. And so we would like to offer some fresh air moving in and out of the building if possible. And so we, of course, don't have anything ordered yet without any approval. And we're looking at fixed, but we're also looking at windows with a single hung or double hung pane that could be opened to provide some airflow into the building as well.
So right now where those windows are gonna go, there are no windows. It's the Herberger sign.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know, I guess we've never had, as long as I've been with the commission, I've never heard of operable windows on the main street, but, except upstairs, but not on the main level.
This is the first one for me also in 15, 16 years. But I don't believe it says we don't allow them, correct?
That's, I was just gonna look here on windows, what's,
I'm looking through here and I haven't found anything yet.
While you're thinking about it, it also is a thought to have kind of the farmhouse looking panes in those windows. If you have opinions on that as well, as we're choosing what kind of operable windows, if allowed, to have the panes in the windows.
And the one thing I'm looking at, it looks like a fairly good sized window. The manufacturer say you can get a double hung that wide?
Yeah, John said it's expensive.
I believe it. That wide of a double hung?
But for us, I guess in the current climate that we have, having the availability of having some open air moving in and out of a space is attractive.
I've seen three-quarter windows where the top could come down, so that wouldn't be exposed, you know, probably at the level of where most people would be sitting or standing.
Or like a top transom that
Correct.
a lot of buildings did have on the doorway. The
Open up.
transom opened up for air movement. Any thought to that?
We're flexible. I came
Might
here with
wanna
an
check
open
into that
with an open
because-
mind.
Operating a window that size could be tricky. I'm just afraid, you know. 'Cause I'm thinking, you think of the size of a picture window, you can't imagine
Typically,
operating
what
that.
they do, it's not just the one that would move. It's not one huge one that would move. We would have three lined up, and then
That's what
the
I was
three
getting
would,
at. You're changing the schematic of your drawing here.
right, to have the extra panes in there.
Could we table this window situation until you get further drawings
Yeah.
of things?
And then when I can bring that information back when I also bring back the lettering size.
Is that something,
Yep, we can table that part of it, but we could give you the, go ahead with some of
ahead
the
on the
other
rest of
things.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm all right with that.
Okay, so we're going to be tabling the information on the windows, the two windows, and also tabling the size of the letters. So everything else that I said,
You want to throw the colors in there too right away?
what I said, the black canopy, the black, maybe black on the lighting, if copper isn't available. Being, the sign being 16 feet by 5 feet. And then tabling for the windows and what drawings you're gonna do with that. And tabling the letter size of your signage.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, that
'Cause, I mean,
sounds
we
great.
don't have that information. It's
Yeah,
hard to
that's
approve if you
completely
don't have
fair.
it.
Absolutely.
Is that all you need, Elwood?
yeah, that's.
Second.
You made the motion? you
I made the
seconded?
motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much
Good
for
luck
your
with your
time.
project.
Good luck.
Thank you. And when I come back, I'll bring, because of, there'll be a variety of sizes and shapes of the windows with the panes, I'll bring a few that we can look at and you can decide what you would prefer.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next design review is for Christina Schwab at 119 North Minnesota Street. And here we're looking for updates to the front and the rear of the building, signage, awning, and lighting. And in your packet is some current photos of the building, front and back. A mock-up of what she's looking at for front, and then some information on awnings, and we'll get some drawings of mock-ups of the front of the building, and then some lighting issues, and some historical photos on the last page of the buildings.
I do have some image from Sid Signs to assign it. But I did notice he didn't have the dimensions on there right before I came, so I don't have the size either. But I do think he said 18 inches on the letters.
State your name and address, please.
Sorry, Christina
okay.
Schwab. Home address is 65950 366th Street, Gibbon.
Okay, thank you. So the brown stuff on the picture on the, is that gonna be like wood?
Yeah, like a siding.
Oh, okay.
Diamond coat siding. I can pass this around too.
It's a different kind of siding than
Pretty board.
hardy board, yeah.
So the question is, I'm sure, is what you're going to do is remove the vinyl siding and put this color where you have it kind of this, what color is that? Chestnut. Chestnut, thank you. And then in between the windows, you have it to be, is that another kind of material that you're going to use where it's black?
Yes, we're looking at putting a stucco. It would be this color, but they didn't have a sample of the stucco in black.
Is that a dull black? I think it's not a shiny black, right?
Nope, I wouldn't say,
Okay.
yeah.
So then you're gonna do the windows above also in some black framing out too?
Correct,
Okay.
yep. They quoted out double hung windows, but I wasn't sure that I needed double hung. We don't open them, so, but they would have black framework on the
But
outside.
they could look like they're double hung even if
Correct.
they're not,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, Andy from Pullman just called before the meeting and asked that same question, and yeah, we could go with a single hung, but have it look
Right.
like it's a double.
Yep, we've done that in some of the
double
other
hung
ones,
window.
correct.
I do have one question. Your window on, facing the building on the left side, are those 3 transom windows, are they in there right now?
They're not. Nope, it's covered by siding right now. There
Right.
used to be windows up there, so we were just gonna put windows back in
Okay.
to kind of level the space across the two buildings.
So that goes away. And then one last deadly question, that awning in the back. 36, 10 or 10 feet long. That's the one I was talking about that they, this one, there's no roof on it though, right? It's
What's that?
You have an awning on here.
Over the
left.
front window?
Yeah,
Yep.
not to extend more than 36 out.
This is in the front, David, isn't it?
Correct.
Great.
This will go over, it looks like over the 2 existing windows and then way above the
The door,
doorway.
right. That one might not be placed that high. It might come down. That's not quite sure on that yet, but
I mean, would you really classify it as an awning though?
Well,
Because
that's,
it
but I mean,
looks-
I don't see any snow load or anything with it.
No,
More of
That's-
a pergola type.
pergola
Yeah,
thing is what I was
pergola.
just gonna say.
Okay, that's the word I'm looking for, instead of the
Yep.
awning style.
Right.
Okay.
I'm sure it's just for appearance look that,
yeah, it doesn't really serve a purpose.
right, right. Okay. And then you're getting rid of the front, the peak of, above the doorway. So that'll be
Yes.
all nice and smooth and
Correct.
And then I believe in the back, you are going to remove the vinyl siding as well.
Yes, and I know that there is brick on most of that side underneath the siding. There's just a portion where there used to be a porch around the doorway, so we'll have to put something else to cover up what's there, and I don't know how big that space is.
So you're going to expose the brick again?
Correct.
Perfect.
Yep.
And I'm assuming those second-story windows, those will be operable, double hungs?
Well, that's what they quoted out. I wouldn't necessarily need them to be. We don't open them,
Okay,
so,
That's, yeah, that's all store, or store up.
I was just going to say,
Second floor,
nobody
there's
lives
no
up there.
apartments or
no.
anything.
It's strictly,
So we wouldn't need egressable windows.
so the same windows we're doing in front could be put in the back too, correct? They look like double hung, but they'll,
There isn't anything in the
Oh,
back.
I was gonna say, there's only,
the one.
oh, there's
Well, no,
one.
Excuse me.
yeah,
Oh. And I,
Well,
a couple side lights on each side of the door, the way it looks.
On the back, we're
On
talking?
the brick part now already.
Oh, I wasn't gonna do anything on the brick part there,
Okay, so it's just the,
just where the siding,
so
Okay,
it's just the
So-
one window
yep.
back there. Yeah.
sorry.
and then you're just going to frame around the doorway because of the siding situation that it'll be
Coordinate with the
boarded out.
front, yeah.
so that'll be black then too.
Right, or this brown siding,
Okay.
depending on how big the space is, I guess. I don't know for sure.
Okay.
And the signage on the back we would reuse.
Yeah, that's reused, and in the front, that's new signage, correct?
Correct. It'd be individual letters instead of that tin sign, which we just had made that size to cover up the old Lombrex letters.
Windows have white trim around them now. They will be black?
Correct, yep,
Okay.
all black.
And the upstairs window's going to be black as well, framed out, or?
Correct,
Okay.
yep. And then I would like to also paint those black, the brick where that is, paint that black so that it's coordinated across the two buildings, because it's painted white on one side and just
see that.
natural on the other.
It's definitely going to give the storefront a more unified look, for
I'm
sure.
hoping so, yeah.
Yep.
So the existing, what I call Casota stone, that's what it looks like,
Yep.
all in black.
Mhm.
I mean, I like it, it's not a great idea for maintenance. Casota
Yeah.
stone sealing it up, but
Okay.
So it's going to damage the soda stone or just get harder to keep the
From-
paint on it?
past
Well, both.
experience.
That white's stuck on there pretty good.
Yeah,
Paint.
Oh, could it just be that way naturally?
No, I mean, it could be a epoxy product. Good night, Elwood.
yeah.
No, I don't have an issue
If-
with it painting it, just
right.
that, you know, if it like, oh, this didn't work.
Sure.
You know, when you're looking at that white, if that, I doubt if it'd be able to get it off. Once it's on there, I don't think that'll happen. But yeah, covering up stone with a paint or something sometimes is problematic in the future with water getting trapped and stuff and deteriorating the stone.
Okay.
Yeah, not prohibiting, yeah, just, you know, that might happen. Oh, they okayed it for me, then, well, it might happen.
Sure.
And it might be dry for 100 years.
So the inspired signage in the front, is that similar to the size of what you have out there right now? In the front, or is that going to be a little bit bigger?
Slightly bigger, I think. Well, no,
As
as
in-
far as the sign itself goes, it would be about the same. the letters I think are gonna look bigger.
Right.
Because it's 2 levels now
Right.
instead of,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I would say probably square footage wise, we're probably
works
gonna
out.
be
Okay.
pretty close. Just looking at the scale of the things here and what's over there now.
That's going to be different having that opening in the front door. I like that. Any other questions, anybody?
So is this one easier to approve just as submitted?
You don't want to go through the whole thing?
We've got lights yet to look at.
Yes.
Good thing you thought about that. Okay,
Those are. They're
So those
nice.
would go between the 3 windows on the right-hand side.
Those are
okay.
Very,
So they light up and down?
Correct.
Ah,
they're nice.
mm-hmm.
I take it there must be black with a little bit chestnut in there to kind of coordinate, so to speak.
Right, and I don't know, just like Leah, I don't know if it'll be the exact same fixture, but something like it.
Okay.
Depending on availability. And I don't have a light fixture above the door yet because I'm not sure how big that opening's gonna be. So that'll determine the size of the fixture.
Between the doorway
Up here.
and your.
Above the
Yeah.
door, yeah.
Yeah, because that'll be more exposed now than it ever was, I suppose.
Right.
Yeah. It feels kind of like a historical, modern little flow with what we're getting off these younger gals with their stuff. I kind of like it. But getting rid of the vinyl siding will be nice.
Can't wait.
You want to make a motion, Dave?
Oh. Remove existing siding, peaked, I'm gonna read right off your, remove existing siding, peaked roof over doorway, replace second-story windows as submitted, replace signage, updated lighting as discussed, paint a portion of the upper exterior to make a cohesive look of one building, that's the soda stone, repair the existing brick front and back with tuck pointing as needed, and remove existing siding on rear building and exposed brick. Portion around the doorway is missing brick to coordinate elements with the front of the building. We'll go on once we know how much space it is. So approve that one. I know you don't know what it's gonna look like till you get in, or tear the siding off.
And that's the
Wait.
back of the building.
Right, but we did miss one, and the awnings, approval of the awnings.
All right.
That should cover it.
It should cover it. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Opposed? Thank you very much, Christine.
Thank you.
good luck.
Do I need to come back when I know what the back of the building looks like? Or does it not matter?
Me. We'll take a
Yeah,
look at
just
it.
let Elwood know.
Oh,
sounds
he'll
good.
tell you.
Okay. And signage, do you need to know exact dimensions or if it's similar to the existing sides?
Yeah, when you find that out, just give me a shout.
Okay,
and
sounds
we'll
good.
Go from there.
All right.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks.
I think Dave has it over there.
I do.
There we
Oh,
go.
that was that.
Thank you.
All right. Reports from the city and
All right, part of the report is, we're starting the budget time already, so we're requesting $10,000 on part of the Heritage Preservation Commission, which we've been carrying over for the last number of years, with the thought of that we'd be able to help out with Herman at some point with some monies that may be needed to do something up there, get some plans or something, so that's why we were still asking for the
okay.
full amount. Whether we get it or not this year, I don't know. That depends on what comes in front of city council, so we'll go from that and see what happens. As stated earlier, Dan Backer is resigned from the HPC commission here the beginning of this month, actually. So we're in the process of looking for somebody to fill his time on the commission. I believe I think he was here last year, so it'd be the rest of this year yet.
Are you working on someone, or we're looking?
Well, we've got one name into the mayor.
Okay.
That's all we've got so far. So if you've got some names, you can get that to the mayor and see what happens. So we've got one name in already.
All right.
And then just a heads up on the building at 227 North Minnesota. That's on the corner there across from George's Steaks. The building has been sold. It's, what is the name of it?
Vineyard?
Doppelichen Vineyards, yeah. He's looking at demolishing the back of the building, and I'm not quite sure if it's the small part or if it's both of those buildings in the back. But back in March of 2020, Mike Kroll came in and they authorized the demolition of the 26 by 30 in back, the one that's got some issues. Like I say, I don't know if we're looking at that other front part of that facing 3rd Street or if it's just the rear. So I don't know if that's something you want to come back with or.
So nothing was removed or demoed, correct?
Not yet,
Well, he
no.
took the porch stuff off upstairs.
Porch, yeah,
Or
that
the,
was.
whatever
yeah,
the decking was, or the
Right.
stairwell, whatever.
yeah. That wasn't part of the.
This used to be filled with all kinds of wood stuff.
Okay.
But he was gonna demo that, but if he sold it, he's gonna leave it up to the next person.
So would it be
The
both?
question is, we've already got the okay to demo the rear,
The garage,
correct?
but not
If-
the next part.
Right, if that's something he wants to demo, do you want that to come back to HPC or we just continue with that?
Well, I don't think that part of the building is in that bad a shape, is it? Or I guess I haven't walked
don't
on
know.
it.
I know he's looking at what the process, I believe that's where the winemaking stuff is gonna be, the pressing and this, that, and the other thing. I think he's looking for some more height issues and stuff.
I was just
that's-
gonna say probably height, yeah.
Yeah, because my understanding, looking at, he was gonna try to rehab them, and it was gonna be way more trying to rehab it and not get the area that he needed, so.
Well, to me, it looks like that building was added on anyway, so it's not a part of the original structure.
Right,
correct?
that's what I've gotten from what I've done in research.
Protocols, should it still come back here?
Here.
I mean,
Well,
if
that's
one
what-
counselor asked, did this part go to the HPC? And I say no, they might say, ship it back. Just 2-minute discussion.
Right, I
Yea or
think we
nay?
probably should.
And plus, if he's gonna build, wouldn't there be a building, probably nothing that, maybe not, oh,
Well, again, I mean,
we don't know.
I mean, is it part of the historic district or not?
well, it is part of the historical district, but it's that unique situation that somebody was building on the interior, we wouldn't be looking at the sides or
True.
the back, in the alley. But that's up to you guys if you wanted to come back and see what he's gonna do with it.
It doesn't hurt. Then we got ourselves covered. Okay,
It's not any different than we were gonna do with.
with the others. Yep, I agree.
So, okay. That's all I've got.
I don't have anything other than it's nice to see us getting some stuff back in here again. Anyway, the meeting is adjourned.
All right.
Thank you.